Welcome to Take 5, a podcast brought to you by Newleaf Training and Development. Each edition is an inspiring interview with a leader worth listening to. Enjoy!
Hey, I'm Paul Butler. I'm one of the client partners at Newleaf Training and Development, and I'm so delighted to be joined today by Nate Apodaca, who's the Vice President, Division Manager at Leidos. Nate, can you believe it? For 17 years at Newleaf, we focus on our core purpose of helping people and organizations better manage themselves, lead others, and grow business acumen. I just wondered, from your experience, what are your recommended best practices to help people and organizations be their best? But please do start, though, Nate, by telling us a little bit more about your organization, what you do, and who you serve. So over to you, Nate, and I'll wrap it up when you're done.
Sure. Thank you for that, Paul. It's been an honor working with you. You've invested some time in my organizations in the past, and it's been tremendously helpful. So I appreciate that. I think, well, first off, within Leidos, I manage a large division of about 1,200 people providing IT enterprise support across NASA. And, NASA has a great mission, and so we're very honored to do that. I've been in the technology business for about 22 years doing government contracting and providing services to federal agencies across the gamut. And so I've had the unique opportunity to work with a lot of different teams. I'm former military. I did 9 years in the Army. So through that culture, I learned a lot about teamwork and the importance of leadership. And so I think, actually, you've helped me sort of galvanize on this approach. But I think when you're stepping in to lead an organization, especially at the size, scale, and scope that I'm at now, it's very important that we understand what our core values are. And so I think that's the foundational piece to being able to lead from. You have to have a place to be able to lead from as you're leading others. And so establishing that mission, vision, and values for your organization and for your group really helps us and has helped me set a true North Star for how I want to take the organization. And then, of course, communication is key. Being able to communicate that mission, vision, and values throughout the organization. I think that's, tremendously key. I think a lot of people too often overlook communication for all sorts of reasons. Could be lack of trust, could be, too busy. It could be not having enough reach, what have you. So I think, clear lines of communication and intentional communication is absolutely imperative. And once you've sort of set that mission, vision, and values, you've communicated that, for me, I will hold some all hands. I'll make sure that my leaders are meeting with their folks one-on-one, making sure all of that true North Star vision is communicated. Then it's really just establishing trust by representing those values. I challenge my leaders all the time to take their understanding of those values, really, and then applying them to themselves. Because leaders create culture. How members of a group take their culture cues is the way they see and perceive how the leader behaves. So it's very important that we understand as leaders that what we focus on is critical to our employees, because whether we're doing it intentionally or not, we're modeling that culture for them. And so being super intentional about just understanding that, and really there's been a huge paradigm shift in the leaders over time that I've been able to aggregate, having this sort of dialogue with them and letting them know that it's really just that simple to have open, honest dialogue with your employees, letting them know, hey, this is where we're going. This is why we're going there. This is the importance. Here's the value stream that we adhere to, and then acting that out, how transformational that can be. And then I think after that, it's maintaining clear and consistent expectations. We like to derive our employees' goals based off of, so it's sort of a trickle down. You establish that base with the mission, vision, and values. You then communicate that. Now we're going to set clear and consistent goals and expectations at every level within the organization, so people have a sort of bumper system. They know, what the left limit is, what the right limit is, and how to react, and what they're allowed to do, and what they should sort of steer away from. I think employees want to know what the rules are, and they want to be engaged, and they want to know how to be successful in a sort of predictable way. And then I think lastly, really just driving home that we need to do everything within our power to ensure that our employees feel valued. I think, too often, you know, folks take the employees for granted. I'm a people person. What I've come to know over my 22 years in the industry and even the 9 years in the military is that I've not accomplished anything without a team of people. I've never done anything all by myself. It's always taken, the hands and feet of those around me. And so creating a positive work culture is hugely important, and making sure that, work is a fun place to be as much as it can be. Doing things like happy hours and catered lunches and just really trying to be as engaged as we possibly can. I think, that culture is going to be rooted in the employee's daily experience, which is going to in turn shape their beliefs. So those beliefs obviously inform their actions, and those actions lead to results. So really, as leaders, if we want to drive hard line, top or bottom line results, it really starts with setting that culture and making sure that the employees feel engaged in it. I think, companies led by executives who create positive experiences by consistently offering and asking for constructive feedback, recognizing employees' efforts during company meetings, having rewards programs. I've even gotten tremendous amounts of positive feedback in just doing handwritten thank you notes. So I think just the more that you're able to engage with employees, the more you're able to set that true North Star, create this familial environment, and make sure that everybody knows that we're all in this together. And then as leaders, we model consistently those mission, vision, and values that we collectively create. It's really imperative. And I think through all that, Paul, I've really been blessed to have a remarkable team. And I think that answers your question.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Nate. Nate, I must just quickly say, I haven't said this before on a Take 5, but as you know, we've worked with over 300 organizations now. And I can honestly say that the organizations that you've been in when we've worked with you, you've definitely been in those top 303. No, I'm just joking. No, joking aside, Nate, I don't want to wax on, but as you know, I write an article every week for a local business journal, and I've only ever used 2 examples of leaders. And obviously I didn't use your full name, but I can't really recall this, but I've spoke about 2 leaders, one that was a bad example of a leader, just used his first name, and one that to me was a good example of a leader, and that was yourself. And I've always massively admired your character and your competence that comes through in your leadership style. You just have such a humility about you as well. And it's very magnetic, I've observed. It's been a real pleasure to work with you in the past, and I'm sure the people that work with you as employees. If I could just give a message out to the subscribers, to obviously a reminder to keep an eye on the website, on the events page for the events that we do throughout the course of the year, most of which are available for free for subscribers. And Nate, could I offer you, I know you're down in Alabama, and as you know, I'm over in California, could I offer you a virtual high five?
You absolutely can, Paul. Thank you for this. Absolutely honored, my friend.
I hope you found that interview useful, and if you did, feel free to rate, review, and share this podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we also invite you to check out our other weekly podcast, Going the Extra Mile, which is sure to lift your spirit and encourage you in today's working world. Bye for now.